Right, Sokoban. I will have the electrifying incident on the screen because that's what I'm going to talk about. But you might not know what a Sokoban is, so I'm going to say what it is, and I'm not going to fetch extra footage. I don't want to. There's only so much time I'm willing to spend on these. A Sokoban game is a block pushing game. It's from the early 90s. But like the idea is so simple and so like mutable that they used to just shove it in all other sorts of games as sort of mini games, and people used to hate those. But they're really good if you're really into them. There is a grid and there is a block on the grid, and you want that block to be somewhere, but you also take up a space, and you and the block can only move orthogonally, so you have to wedge yourself behind it. So, oh no, don't push it into a wall. There's no way to get it off the wall because and then there's like, you learn little rules like that. Electrifying incident. What it does is you're a little robot. I'm going to look up the company who makes it. The Electrifying Incident. Let's pretend that's it spelled correctly. A Monster Mini Expedition, and it's by Dracnet. And Dracnet did other games. Spooky Express, and Sokoban Express, but no, A Monster's Expedition. There we go. A good snowman is hard to build, and A Monster's Expedition are by the same guys, and they have the same like little figures, little alien figures, whatever they are, monster figures. They're monsters, John. It's in the name. And they all have different rules. A Monster's Expedition, I think, is like a 10 out of 10 game. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Electrifying Incident, which is, the gimmick is he's got a robot arm. There might be an object. It might be 5 tiles away. It might be 1. But you have a button that will shoot out a grabby arm, and you'll grab that, and suddenly you'll sort of be locked. You won't be able to turn direction anymore. You'll go left, right, forwards, backwards, and you'll be holding the block at that length. But you can sort of bump yourself into a wall, or bump the block into a wall, and you'll suddenly bend the arm into a 90 degrees angle. So it's like an L shape, and literally all the puzzles interact with that one system. There's not a lot you can do with that, so the game is only like an hour and a half, but I do appreciate that somebody realised there wasn't a lot you could do with that. Let's just release a shorter, cheaper game. I want to say another thing. I'm going to be starting adding audio to the backgrounds of even just the audio only versions, and I do that by grabbing the soundtracks. I've already noticed this game doesn't have its soundtrack available, but it has an alternative soundtrack made by somebody called Patricia Taxon, who the soundtrack didn't get used, and there might have been some drama there. I just wanted to bring that up because I feel guilty about just using it anyway. And also, I like that YouTuber. What's the next game? Void Stranger. Void Stranger has like a goddamn 2-hour video on the internet explaining it. So Void Stranger is not a million mile away. It's John, you need to maybe consider your words before saying the words. So it has like secrets, and the problem with having secrets is I can't say those secrets. It initially identifies as a sort of Sokoban. It uses 8-bit style graphics. You are solving a puzzle by just getting to the exit. You want to maneuver yourself to the exit, and you go down a floor, and you do that by picking up tiles that are in front of you and placing them in other places. And you have like a magic spade, or it's a wand, but whatever. So like the ground, you can take the ground and you can place it in the place where there is no ground. Therein lies basically the entire game. However, this is a game where if you learn something about the game, suddenly, oh, there's a lot more here. And the problem is I can only hint around the edges of that. It's not The Witness. There's a game called The Witness that had a similar thing, but it didn't change the way you played the game. Whereas The Void Stranger is it's made for an insane people, because there is a roguey element. You can die in Void Stranger, and you will have to start from the beginning. And the thing is, you can complete that game and then realise there's an entire extra level to that game. So not only do you have to beat the game again, but you have to do it without ever dying or without interacting with this one system, because you now know something new about it. You're trying to... It's like an ARG, alternative reality game, because once you realise there's secrets at the side that you can interact with the game, you're trying to unbury these secrets. You're trying to get deeper and deeper and deeper, and some of it requires just straight up not playing the game and just looking at screenshots and being like, what's that? Like, it's clever, but also you have to put, there's an insane amount of investment involved in figuring all this shit out. And I feel like if you play it as a community, it might make a lot more sense, but I didn't. I played it afterwards and I got somewhere. The other problem was I was a little bit ill when I played the first stream, because sometimes I just want to try a new game, and the problem is I missed the first hint to the first big reveal, which put me on the sort of back foot a little bit. And I remember like going, I know there's something extra here, and then looking up a YouTuber and being very suspicious at how quickly he solved it. He was just like, oh yeah, I think actually, well, that's an interesting thing. I think I'll do this. But whatever, I'm not going to like name names. I just, you know, maybe some people are just smarter than me. It's fine. But like, I just looked a bit sus. But like, look at a trailer, look at the footage I'm showing. You'll probably immediately know if this even sounds interesting to you. But I will say, if you are an insane person, there is a rabbit hole here, and you can spend a very long time investigating this rabbit hole. Lab Rat, not rabbit, rat, you see, that's a different animal. So Lab Rat is made by somebody who's a big fan of Portal. It is a Sokoban, but it is a comedy Sokoban, which you are the Lab Rat. You must do the testing. There is an evil AI that's forcing you to do the testing. And honestly, the comedy is quite good. Comedy in computer games it was quite rare. People are getting better at it, but when Portal 1 came out, the fact that it was actually funny was a remarkable thing. I need to make sure the recording is still recording. It is still recording. Wonderful. And so, yeah, Lab Rat's quite funny. It is interacting with... It adds subtle systems. It's got 3D good graphics, but it doesn't really add anything new to the formula. But it's like 5 hours long, 10 hours long or whatever, and you're going to have a fun time playing it. It's probably quite a good one to start with if you're not really into Sokoban, because all the spaces are quite small, so you're going to be able to brute force things quite easily, and there's no like abstract mind melty stuff that might be in like Void Stranger and some of the other ones. But yeah, it is good. An architect's adventure. So I won't lie, I've only played this for 2 hours. It is about pushing white blocks around, which is about as basic thing as you can do in a Sokoban. It is 3D though, so it does have height, which, I mean, so did Vagrant Story, a game that wasn't about being a Sokoban and had block pushing puzzles. I will say it's a little dry, and that's why I hadn't returned to it, because sometimes the test game's out and I go, oh, I'll enjoy that, but I'll play it after I finish some other games, and I just haven't gone back to it yet. It wasn't bad or anything like that, I just hadn't gone back to it. And because the high watermark, as I said before, is the monster, let's scroll down, it's still on the screen, John. A Monster's Expedition, but the other one is Steven's Sausage Roll, and both of those have like little interesting extra rules with suddenly like the possibilities open massively, and wow, they have to hide a lot of the systems in really subtle ways. Steven's Sausage Roll especially, where occasionally something will happen, you go, oh my goodness, was that always a thing I could do? Whereas maybe that's in AAA, but I haven't got far enough. But like, it's just a little dry. But it seems fine. The last one is Strange Jigsaws. I'm gonna have to Google this one as well. This one was very cheap and it's just about jigsaws. But he made a free game, which is what I'm trying to actually Google right now, called Strange something else. And as soon as I remember what that is, it's by somebody called Fleb. Strange 20 Small Mazes. And the idea, both of these games, they're sort of like playing on what even is a jigsaw, what can you do. So they're puzzles that aren't really jigsaws, but you're interacting them in a way that's jigsaw-esque, and it's all clever, and you know, because it's a series of puzzles, your mileage might vary on how good those puzzles are, but it's they're cheap, they're fun. Well, one of them is literally free, and you go, oh, there's cool things you can do if you just explore an idea. I think that might be all of them. It was a short one.